why are networks much more complex now than they were 5 years ago?
Good question. So when you and I work in the Qantas Club Lounge, hotels were opening with a telephone network and a TV network and a network for their security system. And in the last sort of 5 or 10 years, the networks have become converged, meaning that an owner can put in one network or one set of infrastructure that all the services can layer over the top of.
And there's a cost benefit, I assume. Obviously, one network infrastructure, but also does that make it easier to manage or harder to manage?
Well, it makes it more complex because now all the parties that are on that network need to be working to the same standards and to the same, effectively, language.
Yep. So the networks are much more complex, and you ideally need someone to take ownership of the network and manage it, right?
Yes, there needs to be a policeman.
Yeah.
So somebody needs, a party needs to be accountable for the performance of that network and work with all the other parties that are residing on that network.
Yep. Okay. Because if you're operating individual networks, simple, you know where the problem lies. If you're running a converged network, which is quite complex, there's no way that you can have 6 or 7 different parties actually having access to adjusting configuration and stuff on the network. So
correct. One party needs to be appointed to look after the base infrastructure. And if we were to look at a network, be it at home or be it in a hotel, the components aren't that much different.
Yep.
You have your passive infrastructure, which is your cabling. That would typically have an investment life cycle of 10 or more years. You have your active equipment, which in an office or a hotel environment would be a firewall and network switches and access points. Mm-hmm. And that infrastructure would have a life cycle of 4 to 5 years. You have the connectivity to the network, which is the ISP, and then you have the applications that sit on top of the network. Now, a party needs to be accountable for the base network configuration and security, and then that party, or in the hotel industry, often the brand standards, mandate how the layered services will, one, join the network and the protocols with which they will join. And a brand standard, in its simplest form, is just a language everyone agrees to use. When we used to have separate networks running, then each vendor could run their network however they liked because they weren't interrupting or impacting anyone. Nowadays, for the network uptime, the performance of all the services on the network, it's very important that everyone agrees to the standards. Hence why the large hotel groups set out a standard for everyone to follow.
Yep, no, that makes perfect sense.